A pipeline of success, a pipeline of opportunities, a pipeline of dreams. That's what I think our education system should look like. From 0 to 18, from 18 to 25, but that's not the way it looks right now. I wanted you to take you back to 2 years ago when I was teaching. I was teaching 11th grade, and a student named Lisa comes up to me. And Lisa says, I went to a good school, I did bridges and street ministries, I took AP classes, I did ACT prep, I can't get above an 18 on the ACT. What did I do wrong? And it hit me at that moment that it wasn't that Lisa wasn't driven or she wasn't focused or she didn't work hard. It was that Lisa had been failed by a system that was not set up to allow her to succeed, a system that was not set up to allow her to get to success, and a system that was really putting her in a state of paralysis. Right now, our system looks like old country roads from the 1950s. And you got to know the right turn at the right place at the right time, and then just maybe, you can actually navigate your way out of poverty. And I don't think that's the way our education system should be set up. I think it should be set up like those pipelines that we saw in the beginning. And what I want to talk about today is why our pipelines right now aren't working and why we're not being strategic about the way we're intervening with kids in education. First, one of our big problems is that we change our interventions every 1 to 2 years, whether that be state standards that we say, oh, a year later, we're going to change the way we teach English, we're going to change the way we teach math. How do we get good at something if we're changing it every 1 to 2 years? Second, we change the people who are actually leading the work every 1 to 2 years, and at best, maybe they'll stay around for 5 years. Imagine building a skyscraper in New York City, and every 3 months you change the architect or the designer. You would never actually build the skyscraper, and that's what's happening with our education systems because we're not incentivizing our school leaders and our district leaders and our nonprofit leaders to stay in this space. The third thing that's happening is that right now we have kind of a paradox in education, and that we either tell stories on a one-to-one impact level about how one person emotionally changed someone else's life, or we tell our impact in terms of the thousands and thousands and thousands of people we can impact. The problem with those two things is one either means you're really good at telling stories, or the other means you're really good at raising money. Neither one of those things actually gets to whether or not you're moving kids out of poverty. And I think we as a system have to examine how we think about impact and how we actually think about moving kids out of poverty. So what I want to talk about is actually how do we do that? And what are we seeing work in our system right now? First, I think we're seeing that multi-year interventions with kids actually work. When you look at wraparound services like what Grizzlies are doing with Grizzlies Team Up and their Grizzlies Prep, and when you look at things like Memphis Athletic Ministries or Street Ministries where they're doing those multi-year wraparound models, those are actually working because they're saying kids need to be at this level at 15, kids need to be at this level by 10, kids need to be at this level by 20, and then they're planning backwards to actually get to those points. The second thing that we need to do is we need to stop trying to build 60 interstates when it only takes 5. Imagine being a child and actually looking at the education landscape here in Memphis and seeing 60 different nonprofits that say they can change your life. That is overwhelming, it's challenging, and it's confusing. And if I'm a parent or a child, I don't know how to navigate that system. Let's pick 3 solutions and make them beautiful structural solutions that go from 0 to 10, 10 to 18, 18 to 25. Let's do the same thing that people are doing in affluent communities, but we're not doing in poor and unprivileged communities. The third thing I want us to focus on is I want us to also think about dreaming bigger. Instead of saying, I want to take kids from 5% to 10% proficiency, let's start asking the question, what is it going to take to move 30% of people out of poverty in the next 10 years? What is it going to take to make sure that kids go from 9% across the country, low-income kids being able to graduate from college, to 50% of kids who are coming from a low-income background graduating from college? We need to be challenging ourselves because if we don't start challenging ourselves in a bigger way, we're going to keep living the same problems over and over and over. So what I want to end with is this. Right now, our students are living in bumper-to-bumper traffic. Day after day, hour after hour, year after year, our students are stuck in a state of paralysis that looks the same as it did in the 1920s. And I don't know about you guys, but I think that's pretty messed up that Lisa, who's worked hard, has done everything we've told her to do, that's still not good enough for her to get out of that system. So what I want to leave you with is this. I want you to pick 3 things in this city that you think structurally move people out of poverty. And I don't want you to do that because they told you a great story or because they can raise a lot of money. I want you to do that because you believe that they can actually move kids from this place to this place in terms of their income quintiles and in terms of their opportunities. And I want you to give your time, your energy, and your money to those 3 things to make sure that kids have more opportunities. Thank you.